Classification based on the complexity and performance. With respect to that, three levels are there, three classifications are. One is small scale embedded system, medium scale embedded system, and large scale embedded system. Three levels of classifications are there with respect to the complexity and performance. Okay, that will be inside your embedded system. How much, how many components we are using, how they are interconnected, how it is performing, all those things are matters with respect to this type of classification. If I am going for the small scale embedded system, as the name only tells, it is very simple and you will be having very less number of components in that, and complexity is also less. Okay, simple in application needs, uh, and the performance requirements are not time critical. They are not time critical means you can't go with respect to real time application. And for example, the electronic toys, small toys will come no with respect to electronic toys that should be charged and then it will be playing, that will come under small scale embedded systems. Only some applications will be there, they should give the music if we are pressing some button, in that way it will be designed. Usually built around low performance and low cost 8-bit or 16-bit microcontroller or microprocessor. Always they will be used with respect to low performance and low cost devices, because the cost of the toy should be less. For that reason, they will go for the low cost devices. May or may not contain an operating system for its functionality. They may need or they may not need operating system with respect to the make it work. Okay, simple whatever the codes are there with respect to function of music playing, all those things will be implemented in that device. That's it. If we are going for medium scale embedded system, slightly complex in hardware and firmware compared to the small scale. Okay, if we are comparing with respect to the small scale, the complexity of this medium scale embedded system will be little complex. Okay, and usually built around the medium performance, low cost 16-bit or 32-bit microprocessor or microcontroller or digital signal processors. Using it is a medium scale, no? That's why using the 16 or 32-bit microcontroller, we are going to write the codes for that. And also you can use here digital signal processor also. Usually contains an embedded operating system, either general purpose or real-time operating system. It can use any embedded operating system, but either general purpose or else real-time operating system for functioning of the embedded system we are using here. If we are going for large scale embedded systems, highly complex in hardware and firmware requirements, and they are employed in the mission critical applications demanding high performance. Whenever we are going with respect to critical application, critical situations at those places, we are using these type of large scale embedded system, usually built around high performance 32-bit or 64-bit RISC processors, controllers, or reconfigurable systems on chip, or multi-core processors and programmable logic devices. These things are come under with respect to high performance, that is large scale embedded system. Complexity is very high and hardware is complex, firmware is complex, and here they can use 32-bit to 62-bit RISC processor, not a microcontrollers. RISC and CISC processors, see, they can use here. And reconfigurable system on chip can be used, or multi-core processors can be used. For example, you can take it as a laptop or phones, mobile phones, anything you can take it as an example. They come under large scale embedded systems. May contain multiple processors, controllers and co-units, hardware accelerators, or offloading the processing requirements from the main processor of the system. That comes under large scale embedded system. Decoding or encoding of media, cryptographic function implementation, etc. are the example for processing requirements which can be implemented using the coprocessor hardware accelerators. Whenever we are going for coding or encoding of the media, whatever the images or whatever the videos are there, if we are encoding or decoding them, or cryptographic function implementation, means to provide the security, encryption and decryption has to be done. For those things you need some different type of functions or some different type of hardwares. For example of processing requirements which can be implemented using the coprocessor or hardware accelerator, means some of the applications you want to run, but you need an external device which can help you to run those type of softwares. That comes under this type of large scale embedded system. Usually contains a high performance real time operating system. It will be working on the high performance real time operating system, and for task scheduling, prioritizing, prior prioritizing and management. For all these functions, you need a real-time operating system. That is large-scale embedded system. Application is used with respect to classification based on the complexity and performance. We have small scale, medium scale, and large scale. If we are going for, see, if I am going for medium scale, for example, you can take it as a washing machine, microwave oven, all those things are already pre-programmed, but it is not more complex. Okay. If I am going for large scale, highly complex devices comes under your laptops, your mobiles, tablets, all those things come under large scale embedded system. Classification based on deterministic behavior applicable for real-time systems. With respect to behavior, we are going to divide them. The application task execution behavior can be either deterministic or non-deterministic. Based on the execution behavior, real-time embedded systems are classified as hard real-time and soft real-time system. Both, I'll tell you the difference here only. Classification, these are the deterministic behavior. Yeah. Whenever we are going with respect to deterministic and non-deterministic, if you have a task or application, whenever it is running, what is the actual output you will get? That is an actual deterministic application. There are a deterministic embedded system. If you are going for non-deterministic, you will be giving the input, but you don't know what actual output you are getting. That is non-deterministic embedded systems. If you are going for related to real-time embedded system, what is the behavior? With respect to behavior, hard real-time and soft real-time systems, both are related to real-time systems. If I am going for hard real-time, which is very critical with respect to real-time systems, means whenever you are representing one system, that is embedded system, as a hard real-time, if I am taking an example of nuclear reactor, I'll take one example, nuclear reactor. Simply imagine with respect to nuclear reactor, what is the condition we are giving? If the temperature reaches, or if the temperature reaches more than a 10,000 degrees Celsius or 5,000 degrees Celsius, anything, you can imagine any value. If it is crosses the 5,000 degrees Celsius, automatically you have to switch it off. Okay, that is an hard real time. If it crosses that one, you may get into the consequences where the damage is very critical. It can lead to the human loss, or it can lead to the destroyal of overall industry also. That's why those type of conditions are considered under hard real time systems. If we are going for soft real time, some of the considerations can be given. Means if we are getting the output after 5 milliseconds, that is also okay. That is soft real time. Considerations or some privileges can be given, that is related to soft real time system. Hard real time and soft real time, you have to keep it in mind. If you are going for classification based on triggering, embedded systems which are reactive in nature, like processor control system in industrial control applications, can be classified based on the trigger. With respect to reactive, means Suddenly you got an input, for that you have to give the output. That is reactive natures. All the embedded systems which are reactive in nature means, for example, I am taking a oven, whatever the input button or whatever the time you will set, with respect to that it has to work. That is an reactive nature, means input you are giving, output the system will give. That is with respect to reactive. Reactive system can either be event triggered or time triggered. Both can be considered. If I am considering it as a event triggered, if some function occurs, if one event has completed, then next it should execute. That is event triggered. If I am going for time triggered, after some time the system should be on. That is time triggered. Okay, reactive triggered and time triggered. See, after execution, after installing the software, you have to restart it. That is event triggered. Time triggered it is after some time it should be executed. Like your alarm only, you can take it as a time triggered. Means after this time the alarm should ring. That is time triggered example. Okay. Major application areas of embedded systems, you can see one by one. Consumer electronics, that is camcorders or cameras, will become a consumer electronics. Household appliances, that is television, DVD players, washing machine, refrigerator, microwave oven, all those things come under household applications. If we are going for home automation and security systems, air conditioners, sprinklers, intruder detection alarm, and closed circuit television, or that is television cameras, that is CCTV, and fire alarms, etc., will come under home automation and security systems. And automotive industry, anti-lock braking system, ABS, engine control, ignition systems, automatic invigilation system, sorry, automatic navigation system for automotive industry, that is related to cars, everything. And telecommunication, that is cellular telephones, telephone switches, headsets, and multimedia applications, etc., will come under these type of embedded system, major application areas of embedded system. And still many are there. Computer peripherals like printers, scanners, fax machine, all those things come under computer peripherals. Computer networking system, network routers, switches, hubs, firewalls, etc., are computer networking system, embedded systems. And healthcare, different kinds of scanners, EEG, ECG machines come under embedded systems only. Measurements and instrumentations, that is digital multimeter, digital CROs, logic analyzers, PLC systems, all those things come under your embedded system. You have seen many of the electronic devices like multimeters, digital CROs, synthesizers, everything come under your embedded systems only. And banking and retail, automated teller machine, your ATMs, currency counters, and point of sales, all this comes under bank and retail sections, but these are also embedded systems only. Card readers, barcode reader, smart card readers, handheld devices, all those things come under card reader section. All those parts are also embedded systems. Okay. And purpose of embedded system, why we need embedded systems, where it for which all applications we can use, we have seen. And with respect to the function, we are going to learn why we need the embedded system. Each embedded system is designed to serve the purpose of any one or combination of the following tasks. So many tasks will be there, you can combine them, or each and every function also can be done using one embedded system. Six functions are there. One is data collection, storage, and representation is one type. Another is data communication, data or signal processing, monitoring, controlling, and application specific user interface. Application specific user interface. These are the main purpose of embedded system. With respect to this, how it will work, one by one we will see, where it can be used, where which all examples you can implement, all those things we'll see here. What is meant by data collection? Means you are with by using this embedded system, you are collecting the data, you will store the data, and you can see those data also. Okay, that is related to data collection. Data communication means the data will be typed and you will be transmitting it, and it will be received by some other person. It may be a voice, audio, video, anything that will be with respect to data communication. Data or signal processing. If we are going for data or signal processing, data will be taken, which is a rough data. You will be doing some processing functions, or like sampling or quantization, anything you can do. If we are doing some those type of process on the data, then you will get the actual processed result in by using embedded system, that is data or signal processing. Monitoring, no need to give any input, no need to do anything, simply you are monitoring it. Means whatever the input is given is with respect to liquids or solids, anything. After it will be means like temperature is increased, temperature has been reduced, or all those things you are monitoring it. That is related to monitoring. If you are going for controlling, after reaching some amount of temperature, you have to stop that function. That is related to control function. Application specific user interface, with respect to the application, whatever the user has given as an input, that output will be taken. That is related to application specific user interface. These are the main purpose of embedded system.